Sound of Emma's knees hitting the saloon floor echoed through the Crystal Palace like a gunshot. The sour reek of whiskey and cigar smoke hung in the air. Even the out-of-tune piano fell silent. Every head turned. Jacob Thornton, the most feared rancher in Tombstone, stood over her like the devil himself. "Your daddy owed me $5,000, Jake said. "Now that old fool's dead, and that debt, it belongs to you." Emma's hands trembled as she looked up at him. 51, weathered by the Arizona sun, eyes cold as winter steel. "Please," she whispered. "My father just died 3 weeks ago. I have nothing. Jake threw a paper down. It landed in front of her face. "That's a contract, girl. Says right there you belong to me now. 5 years of work at my ranch, no pay. Just room and board till that debt's settled." The room gasped. Emma grabbed the paper. "This can't be legal. This can't legal." Jake laughed. "Harsh. Sheriff Bennett himself witnessed your daddy's signature on the loan. It's as legal as it gets in Arizona territory." Emma looked around desperately. Ranchers, cowboys, gamblers, working girls, pity in their eyes. But no one moved, because everyone knew you didn't cross Jake Thornton. A few even looked almost satisfied. Her father had spent his last months bad-mouthing Jake in every saloon, and folks told themselves this was just his debts catching up with his kin. "I won't do it," Emma said. "You can't make me." Jake's smile vanished. He turned to one of his men. "Cole, show her what happens when people don't pay their debts." Cole stepped forward, holding something. Emma's heart dropped. The mortgage note on her father's ranch, the paper that said the land was the price of his debt. The last thing her family owned in this world. "No." Emma lunged, but Jake caught her hair, yanking her back down. "Watch," he said. Cole tore the note in half, then in half again. The pieces drifted to the dirty saloon floor. Emma screamed as her father's legacy was ripped to shreds. "You're mine now," Jake growled, forcing her to look at him. "From this moment on, you're nothing but property, my property, and if you so much as think about running, I'll make sure you regret the day you were born." He let go. Emma collapsed on the torn pieces of the note, sobbing. The saloon stayed silent. No one helped her. No one dared. But what none of them knew, not even Emma, was that everything they'd just witnessed was a lie. And if they'd known the truth that night, half the men in that room would have run for the door. And the real monster wasn't the man standing over her. So why would Jake Thornton destroy a young woman's life so publicly, so cruelly? What was he really protecting her from? The wagon ride to Thornton Ranch felt like a journey to hell. Emma sat in the back, hands bound with rough rope. Cole driving up front. The Arizona sun beat down as Tombstone shrank behind them. She'd cried herself empty. Now there was only numbness, and beneath it a burning hatred. The ranch rose on the horizon like a fortress, Jake Thornton's kingdom. Cole pulled the wagon to a stop. "Get out." Ranch hands stopped to stare. 15 rough men, all loyal to Jake. Jake stepped onto the porch, put her to work. Stables cleaned, horses groomed, dinner for all the men by 6. "If she's slow, she doesn't eat." "Yes, sir," Cole said. "I don't know how to cook for 15 people, Emma blurted. Then you better learn fast." Jake's eyes were ice. "You work or you starve. That's it." The first day was torture. Her hands blistered. Her back screamed, "Yes, sir." And by the time she reached the kitchen, she had 2 hours to cook a meal she didn't know how to make. The biscuits burned. The beans were hard. The coffee tasted like dishwater. Jake took one bite, then hurled his plate against the wall. "You think this slop is fit for my men?" "I tried. I don't care about trying, huh?" he roared. "Every meal you ruin is another week added to your contract. You understand me?" "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, what?" "Yes, sir." That night, they locked her in a tiny room with a thin mattress and a barred window. From downstairs, she heard Jake's voice, loud and angry, a bottle smashed, nervous laughter. She pulled her knees to her chest. This was her life now, no escape. Then something strange happened. Through the thin walls, she heard Jake again, softer this time, and Cole's reply, "You sure about this, boss? That show tonight? Breaking the plate? Might have been too much. Jake's answer was barely a breath. Just stick to the plan. We don't have much time. Emma pressed her ear to the wall, heart pounding. Plan? What plan? The more she tried to shove those words aside, the louder they scratched at the back of her mind. 3 days passed like 3 years. Emma worked from sunrise to sundown. Her hands were raw and bleeding. On the second day, Jake shoved a rifle into her hands on the way to the corral. Coyotes don't care that you're grieving, he said. If you're going to live out here, you learn to shoot. Her father had taught her to knock tin cans off fence posts when she was 12. The weight of the gun wasn't new, but Jake kept her firing at bottles until her shoulder bruised. She'd thought it was just another way to break her. You call this clean? He'd drag a finger through dust. Do it again. This coffee tastes like mud. He'd dump it out. Make it again. Every word another lash, yet somewhere beneath the cruelty, the way he kept watching the horizon made it feel like he was waiting for a storm only he could see. And still, his whisper haunted her stick to the plan. On the 4th day, Sheriff Thomas Bennett rode up. Emma looked up from scrubbing the porch. The silver star on his chest flashed in the sun. Late 40s, kind eyes, and a reputation as the most honest lawman in Arizona, the kind of man people trusted too easily. Something in the way his gaze lingered on the house made her stomach tighten. Jake Thornton, Bennett said, dismounting. Heard you got yourself some new help. News travels fast, Jake replied. Maybe too fast. Bennett's eyes moved to Emma. That's William Carter's daughter. The man just died 3 weeks ago, Jake. And here she is, scrubbing your floors like a servant. She's paying off her daddy's debt, Jake said coldly. All legal and proper. Legal don't always mean right. Bennett stepped closer to Emma, voice soft. Miss Carter, are you being treated fairly here? Emma opened her mouth. This was her chance. One honest word from her and the entire ugly performance in the saloon could start to unravel. Then she met Jake's eyes. There was something there, not a threat. Almost pleading. She swallowed. I'm fine, Sheriff. Just working off what's owed. Bennett didn't look convinced. If that changes, you come find me. I don't care whose debt it is. After he left, Emma braced herself for punishment. Get back to work, was all Jake said. That night, heavy footsteps pounded up the stairs. Her door flew open. Jake filled the doorway, the smell of whiskey pouring in with him. He was drunk. Or he looked it. Please, Emma gasped, backing against the wall. Please don't. Jake grabbed her collar and yanked her close. You know what I could do to you. You know nobody would stop me. Not Bennett, not anyone in this whole damn territory. His fist twisted in her dress, but his hand shook, knuckles white with effort. For a heartbeat, his gaze flinched away from her face, like he couldn't stand the man he was pretending to be. Emma shook so hard she could barely breathe. Then Jake shoved her away, spun, and punched the wall. His fist went straight through the plaster. He stood there, chest heaving, knuckles bleeding, then walked out without a word. Emma crumpled to the floor, sobbing. She'd just escaped something terrible. But why had he stopped? Monsters didn't pull back at the last second, unless they were pretending to be something even worse than they really were. Now, before we go any further, do me a favor. Pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, and tell me in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. And hey, if this story has you hooked so far, hit that subscribe button.